Hello, this is Japanese Economic Review Channel. Today, we are diving deep into the labor force survey for January 2026, just released by Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communications. Now, the main headline number definitely raised a few eyebrows, but as we're about to see, that one figure is hiding a much more interesting story about what's really happening inside the Japanese workforce.
Okay, let's get right into it, starting with that one number that really got everyone talking. So, compared to the same time last year, the total number of people with jobs in Japan fell by 30,000. Now, in an economy this big, that might not sound like a huge deal. But the real story here isn't the number itself. It's about the trend that it just completely broke.
That's right. For the first time in 3.5 years, this number has actually gone negative. After such a long, steady streak of growth, this sudden drop makes you ask one big question. Is Japan's job market finally starting to slow down?
But this is where things get really fascinating. You see, that single headline number doesn't tell the whole story. Not even close. To really get what's going on, we have to look at two different but very related figures.
First off, we need to get a key distinction here. Employed persons is this big, broad umbrella. It covers basically everyone with a job, from a CEO to someone who's self-employed, to family members helping out in a business. But employees, well, that's much more specific. It only counts people who are actually hired by a company and get a regular paycheck. And this one little difference, it's the key to understanding this entire report.
So here's the twist. Even as that big, broad category of employed persons went down, the core number of people in paid jobs, the employees, it actually went up. It's a total contradiction.
And it didn't just go up by a little. The number of employees shot up by 220,000 people. And get this, it's the 47th month in a row that this number has grown. So how on earth can total employment be down for the first time in 42 months, while the number of employees is up for the 47th straight month?
While the answer isn't about how many jobs there are, but what kind of jobs they are. This report is showing us a massive shift happening inside Japan's workforce, a real move from one type of work to another.
Now, this slide might look a little technical, but it tells the whole story. If you peek at the small graphs in the actual report, you'll see two trends going in completely opposite directions. The charts for regular full-time employees are climbing steadily up. But the charts for non-regular workers, part-timers and contractors, they're heading straight down. It's the perfect picture of this big shift we're talking about.
And let's put some real numbers on that. The number of regular employees jumped by a whopping 570,000. But at the exact same time, the number of non-regular employees dropped by 370,000. So what we're seeing is a huge transition away from temporary work and toward more stable, permanent jobs. This could be a sign that in a tight job market, companies are having to offer better, more secure positions to get the workers they need.
But of course, it's not all good news. While that shift towards regular employment is a great sign, the report also has some pretty clear warning flags. To get the balanced view, we have to look at the unemployment data.
The total number of unemployed people went up by 160,000 compared to last year. And as you can see from this chart's upward slope, this isn't just a one-month blip. It's actually the 6th month in a row we've seen an increase, which points to a more persistent negative trend.
So why is this happening? Well, the data shows it's coming from all sides. We've got 50,000 more people who quit their jobs, maybe looking for something better. There's another 50,000 who are new to the job market. And, a bit more concerning, we also see a rise of 30,000 people who lost their jobs involuntarily, due to layoffs or businesses closing.
And this economic strain isn't spread out evenly. Some specific industries are really feeling the pinch. Manufacturing, for instance, lost 33,000 employed people. It was followed by lifestyle and entertainment services, and then academic and technical services. It's a very clear sign of a split in the economy.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. We've got a drop in total employment, but a rise in employees. A big move to stable jobs, but also rising unemployment. Let's try to make sense of what this data is actually telling us.
So what's the big picture here? Well, first, the main takeaway is that Japan's labor market is going through a huge structural change. People are moving out of non-regular jobs and into more secure, full-time ones, which is great for them. But at the same time, unemployment is still creeping up, and that's a trend to watch. And finally, the economy is really starting to diverge, with key sectors like manufacturing struggling, and that could slow down overall growth.
And this all leaves us with one final, very important question. Are we just seeing a short-term blip, a temporary adjustment in the economy?
Or are these numbers the first signs of a much deeper, permanent transformation in the very fabric of Japan's workforce? I guess only time will tell. Thank you for watching the Japanese Economic Review. We look forward to having you with us again.